Let's get weird, buddy. Let's get weird.
Well, there's a bright center to the universe. You're on the planet that it's farthest from.
Welcome to the Outer Rim. Enjoy your stay.
What's inside him?
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun, and we're back talking comics. More specifically, we aren't talking about Wolverine comics. Even more specifically, we're not talking about anyone from the X universe at all. There's no Rogue, there's no Gambit, there's no Wolverine, there's no Deadpool in this book. No. Today, though, most specifically, we're talking about Benjamin Percy's new Red Hulk book. And I heard about this book and I like Banner, right? And I have nothing against Thunderbolt Ross's Hulk. I don't. I actually really like the character. I just don't have all the money in the world, and I just never really picked up much of the more current stuff. I have all the original Red Hulk books, so I'm happy with all that. But it's been a minute since I've read a Red Hulk book, and I wasn't even going to read this one. But like a lot of times what I've been saying lately, it's about the creative team that I see on a book. And I think that's true for a lot of people. I think in my youth, I only cared about what looked cool more than what was like on the page written or said through the art. It was all my mind back then was just as far as comics went, was just how cool everybody looked and what they did, punching and action and shit. Took me a long time to really appreciate comics in the way that they deserve to be. And so now when I look at these books and I was like, Red Hulk's coming out, so what? I'm not reading that. And then I saw who was on it. And I'm like, Benjamin Percy and Jeff Shaw. Okay. Two freaking amazing creators on another book that I would normally just think would be tossed to, an up and comer, to get their Marvel legs underneath them. Give them the Red Hulk book that's flying under the One World Under Doom banner, right? No, instead they're putting their prestige out there, because I mean Jeff Shaw alone, I mean, yeah, they've worked together before on Wolverine, but Jeff Shaw was on Crossover, God Country, many more good books. And then Benjamin Percy, who just keeps proving that he doesn't just know how to do Wolverine, he doesn't just know how to do Deadpool, he doesn't just know how to do Ghost Rider. He doesn't just, and anybody that's in any of his books, it feels like Percy is just zeroed in on comic characters and understanding them. And now they're giving him Red Hulk. And I'm thinking, cool. What better way to revitalize interest in this character? Because Captain America, Brave New World, honestly, I don't think, if it introduced people and got them interested, then this is the perfect time to be out there reading this book, especially if you like Thunderbolt fucking Ross like I do. I've talked about this every time I talk about the Hulk. I've got so many old Hulk books, and Thunderbolt Ross is one of these like just great foils. And when Sam Elliott portrayed him in Ang Lee's Hulk back in 2003, I was like, oh my God, they finally captured the guy perfectly. And ever since then, I've just, when it turned out that Thunderbolt Ross was Red Hulk, I was just like, it makes sense for the progression of a character who's been out since the 60s, is that eventually he would become what he hates to fucking to live, to fight, to get the advantage, and have the mind of a tactician and a mind of a general. It's a really great idea. And in Benjamin Percy's new book, Red Hulk, it's Red Hulk is under control of Doom. But why? Doom's running the whole world at this point in Marvel Comics. Why am I not talking about One World Under Doom? I thought about it because I do think there's some interesting things to say, at least about why One World Under Doom is happening. And I haven't really done an event book, like a really big event book. I don't know in how long, if ever. I think I did Powers of X and House of X back in like 2019. So it's been a while, but I would rather stick with who I know is good, which is Ben Percy and Jeff Shaw. And what story are they going to craft within this story that's going to play a big role, I'm assuming, in how the Doom universe, takeover is going to wrap up. And in this book, the first issue called Think Tank, we find out exactly why Red Hulk is under the control of Doom, amongst other people like Deathlock and Machine Man, which I was also, once I heard that Percy was on the book, I was like, he's doing Red Hulk, cool. Then I read the synopsis and I'm like, Deathlock and Machine Man are going to be in this freaking motherfucker. Hell yeah. So because I've loved Deathlock for since I was a kid, and when he was in Agents of Shield, I freaking loved it. When I'm done, when I'm editing this, I'm gonna remember the guy from Angel who played Deathlock on Agents of Shield, and I'm so mad that I can't remember his name right now. Wait, I'm just pausing this so I can find it out. It's J. August Richards, right? It's wait, I didn't even have to pause it. Yeah, that's his name. Anyway, I've loved that character too. And Machine Man, he's just a really interesting and powerful character, but it's why these characters are locked up that is really interesting and where they're going, because I even think that the way that they draw Ross and this is like Sam Elliott. I think Ben Percy knows this. I think Jeff Shaw knows this. I think they all know that the real Thunderbolt Ross is Sam Elliott. And they're giving that homage here. Or maybe they'd say, oh, I don't know. Does it look like him? I don't know. Maybe they don't want to say, I haven't asked him. Ben, is it based on Sam Elliott's General Thunderbolt Ross? I don't expect an answer, but I put it out there. Anyway, so without further ado, while I kiss ass to this book and story, why don't we get into it and go panel to panel, and then afterwards we'll have more to say. All right, so let's get to reading. Red Hulk, number 1. General Thunderbolt Ross has been running dangerous covert missions across the globe in the name of national security. As Red Hulk, he was an unstoppable one-man operation, or so he thought. Over the Yellow Sea. I mean, is that Sam Elliott or is that not Sam Elliott, everybody? The eyebrows, the hairline. Excuse me, sir. Wah. Little Teddy Ruxpin there. It's okay. The flight's almost over. Strategy should always be divorced from emotion. Innocent lives will be lost. Collateral damage is inevitable and necessary. That is the price of war. Some people die poorly so that more may live in prosperity. What the hell? There's no turbulence on the radar. Flight attendants, please take your seats immediately. Ding! Gah! What's happening? Boom! Boom! The Chinese airliner will contain 400-some passengers. For maximum impact, the manifest should include a few political figures and celebrities. The world will believe it was shot out of the sky by North Korea. Yongbyon Nuclear Research Facility. This belief will be reinforced when I breach the facility and launch nuclear missiles at Shanghai, Seoul, Tokyo, and Manila. This will create chaos throughout Asia, where alliances are already fractious. Hypothetically, this could be accomplished by a highly trained fire squad. But then you create more possibilities for witnesses as well as mechanical and human error. I would do it alone. Dr. Doom. I admire that about you, Thaddeus Ross. You are a celebrated general, and yet you remain a blood-soaked soldier. You are as comfortable in the Situation Room as you are in the trenches, because you believe fully in your dominating strength and strategy. Thank you for your enlightening thoughts on how to sow uncertainty and discord in the East. Don't patronize me, you fuck. I gave you what you wanted. Now give me something in return. A phone call, a breath of fresh air, a glimpse of the fucking sun. You are in no place to make demands. How long has it been since you locked me up in here, you fucking tin can? How long's it been? 6 months? A year? Answer me, you fuck. Take a long, hard look at yourself, General Ross. Inside and out, you have forgotten your dignity. And you have forgotten, too, who holds all the power in this situation. I encourage you to return yourself to order, like a good soldier. It should also be pointed out that Doom is Sorcerer Supreme on top of every fucking thing else. I also love Doom, by the way. I didn't appreciate it. And he was another character I didn't appreciate when I was a kid. This will serve as an uncomfortable reminder of who commands you. Ugh. Ugh. Your rank is no longer relevant, nor is your country. You serve me, and you serve Latveria. Years ago in the Hindu Kush Mountains, an IED detonated and ripped my Humvee in half. I crawled away from the smoking wreck feeling a little like this. Like my whole body was a bruise. I've been resisting Doom from the beginning. But I snapped today. for the first time. The weight of millions of pounds of rock feels like it's pressing down, as I'm trapped in here and Red Hulk is trapped inside me. Day after day, week after week, month after month, Doom demands we work our way through military scenarios, war games. Why? He won't tell me. Maybe it's an amusement. Maybe it's a test. Maybe it's a rehearsal. I can hear my pulse hammering in every wound. But I can hear something else too. Ch- 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 A faint tapping that falls into a familiar rhythm. Morse code. Ch- 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 ch. The message is short and on a loop. My name is Deathlock, and I'm a prisoner. Jeff Shaw. And then another more distant tapping joins the first. I'm General Simon Riker of the U.S. Army, and I am a prisoner. These other characters in here are the ones with just that are regular people. I don't know if they're anything. I haven't looked them up or not. And another. I am Hugo Perez, head of the Hook Cartel, and I am a prisoner. And another still. I am Li Wan Tang. I could say that. I am Li Wan Tang, professor of political science at Harvard University, and I am a prisoner. And one more. I am Machine Man, and I am a prisoner. When I saw Machine Man, I went, okay, it's on. It's on. No doubt there are others held captive here, but these are the ones who understand Morse code. In the days that follow, we are in constant, careful communication. A few weeks ago, Deathlock was brought over from another dimension so that Doom could use him as an analog agent in a digital world. But after several probationary missions, Doom sensed insubordination and locked him up. Makes sense? That tracks. He's not the guy who who will tolerate anybody after a while controlling him. A few days ago, Machine Man was in the middle of a massive data breach when Doom came for him. How would you interrupt Roxxon energy through pipeline and oil platform destruction, or increase drilling in Africa? What are different ways you would slow or shut down shipping ports? Orchestrate an attack that takes place on a major religious or national holiday? How can addiction hurt the economy? That's a great page, man. What animal research laboratories would be most likely to leak a deadly pathogen, hack the electrical grid, poison a water supply? Terrorism, disinformation, scandal, blackmail, environmental catastrophe, digital erasure, war, war, war. A think tank. He's building a think tank dedicated to global war. I've been here the longest. And I'll admit I've let the isolation get to me. But my strength and resolve have returned. Because I now have a think tank of my own. And our focus is clear. How do we get the hell out of here? And how do we stop Doom? A strategy begins to take form. though it needs to be workshopped. 3 times a day we are fed. We are to stand at the back of our cell while the force field is disengaged. I always suspected Doom would be too proud for such a humble task. But it was only through Morse code that I confirmed that this was one of several Doombots delivering our meals. Sometimes within seconds of each other, sometimes simultaneously. I've never tolerated conscientious objectors. Doom doesn't either. We all actively insult our captor, trying to goad him on. Trying to get him to destroy our cell for us. Machine Man is nearest to me. He doesn't have access to his powers. But he does have access to his component parts. A telescopic cable system runs through his arms. I tell him what to do. Though it takes a few days, Doom finally breaks him. And that injury is exactly what allows for his escape. We estimate that our cells are between 50 and 100 yards apart. The timing is such that we have fewer than 10 minutes before our next meal is served. He can only move so quickly, his body cracked and bent. None of us have access to a clock. But by the time he gets to my cell, I guess we have less than a minute to spare. Not having access to Red Hulk is like not having access to an aircraft carrier or a tank brigade. I recognize that I'm in no position to fight Doom, but that doesn't mean I can't outmaneuver him. Crick. You know the story of the Trojan horse entering the city of Troy with a belly full of soldiers. You know the story of the 300 Spartans defending the pass at the Battle of Thermopylae. The greater strength can be in the maneuver. We could be miles underground. We could be lost or gassed in that maze of vents. I don't make plans based on unknown variables. I make plans based on what I know. And I knew this Doombot would have no reason to re-engage the force field if a cell was empty. And I know its chip technology is the key to this prison. And to my power inhibitor. Ross, we have company. You've completed your part of this mission, Machine Man. So has Ross. If we're going to spring the rest of the prisoners and get out of here alive, we need to break out the heavy artillery. Next up, The Great Escape. Da-da-da. All right. So, there we have it. The first issue of Red Hulk by Ben Percy. And I love this because I also really love Doom. And like I said, I thought about covering One World Under Doom, and maybe I'd discuss it as a one big video at some point when it's over, because I do like that at this point we do have Doom finally taking over the Marvel universe. And I even though, yeah, I think a lot of this is motivated by Robert Downey Jr. and MCU hopes and dreams and billions of dollars to be made. But the reason I like Doom is just because of his mind and how he works. And this whole thing of him setting up his think tank, his little personal prisoners of all these strategists, all these people that can do certain things for him. And it just makes perfect sense that Ross and all these other guys are in here. And now they're planning their great escape. And all I'm thinking in my head while I'm reading this is Sam Elliott with some CGI shit. And maybe he doesn't want to do this kind of thing anymore. I don't know. Maybe you just need to give him a paycheck or something. A good paycheck. Get Sam Elliott to do this. But I've just always liked how Doom operates. Well, not always, but since I've been appreciating the writing and the stories and the characters of comics a lot more, I just love the way that they've been doing Doom for a good long while now. And him just embracing this side of him, because let's talk about it here. Instead of doing it in One World Under Doom. There was a book just recently out called Dr. Doom and Rocket Raccoon by J. Michael Straczynski and Will Robson. And in that book, Doom gets Rocket to come and help him solve basically the answers of the purpose of the universe. And spoilers for this book, but we're doing it late in the game here, so it's kind of like wild. But in the course of this, they go to before the Big Bang. And I'm not going to get into all of it, but the consensus basically is they go to the end of the universe. At that exact moment is basically the beginning of the universe. The universe started by somebody looking for the right answer, which is the purpose of the universe. And the purpose of the universe is to find out the purpose of the universe. And it has been the entire universe. Okay, now remember, for people that have a hard time figuring out what reality is, when they say this universe, they don't mean our universe. Okay, nobody's saying in this but in the Marvel universe, or at least in the 616 universe, it has been created in Doom's image, and he is told this information. And when you're told this information, that the whole universe has started because of you, wouldn't you think that you could run the whole damn thing pretty easily? That this, of course, must be why. And so now it's going to come down to, to me, this interesting part is, where does Red Hulk, where will he and his cohorts what role will they play in however this all plays out? I would really like One World Under Doom to go a lot longer. I would like this to be a big thing, but I feel like it's only going to be for 5 or 6 months, maybe, and maybe Impact a little bit longer than that. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this will be the biggest motherfucker since, who knows, since Powers and House of X. But that's basically all I've got for this first issue. I am really, really glad that I'm talking about this, and I hope you guys like it too. So anyway, before I just keep on rambling, I'm going to say, if you like what we're doing here, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the bell for all notifications and all that jazz. And we'll see you on the next video, bubs. Bye.
Why is he such a threat to you?
Because I know what he comes from. He is his father's son. Every last molecule of him. He says he doesn't know his father, but he's working in the same exact goddamn field his father did. So either he's lying, or it's something worse, and he's...
What?
Ba 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 bum. Ba bum 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 bum.